Friday, October 18th, market analysis. Stan Ehrlich, good morning. 10:02 California time. I will also cover the October lows a little bit today, but we're going to concentrate on the failure so far for the October low to start causing a downside correction. It just hasn't surfaced. So most of my commentary is going to be, can we get a reversal? Are we getting ready to have the October lows? Is there any sign that it has started as yet? And pretty much the answer is no. We haven't got any major reversals that have worked. We don't have any lower lows for this week, for example, which would probably be the beginning of the decline into the end of October. We have 2 weeks left, less one day, almost 2 full weeks. Plenty of time for a fairly sharp break. But I'm now looking for the lows of early September to be tested or lower. And I might as well not talk about the other lower levels yet until something starts to show up that looks like we have started a break. So let's go look at the short-term chart. E-mini, 1 minute, just finished making new highs for the rally and had a little bit of a dip. The overnight daily data, I should say, S&P chart, almost making new highs for the trend. No gaps to close anymore. Done, on Tuesday. Looks like a potential new high close for the trend if we stay here or a little bit higher. No sign that the SPY is about to crash, except that it's overbought this week. That could be the only signal that it could roll over, but it's just not doing it yet. The spider 1 minute, strong, near its high for the day, close to making new highs for a couple of days, not quite yet. The QQQ, doji inside trading range, but up 3.5 almost, and close to a new high for this particular strong rally, which would bring it very close to making new highs since July 11th, the high of the whole bull market for the QQQ, which has been a little bit weaker on the average lately. The short-term 1 minute chart QQQ just not getting close to the highs as yet, but I'm not turning bullish, mind you. I'm accepting the likelihood that the market could work somewhat higher, but we are either overbought, have been overbought, or close to being overbought in almost all of the indexes. So this is not the time to be rip-roaringly bullish with a big upside move because it's had it. It's time to watch for signs that the market is going to have a correction. Next chart. NQ, NASDAQ, close to the rally highs early this week. Again, like the QQQ, not a new high for the whole trend. That was made again on July 11th with a sell signal ER for the exact top of the market for that high so far. And we got that top. And we got that top. Only lasted a few days, but very good money. We got that top. We got this bottom, almost the lowest low, and the same comment for the one on September 11th, 9/11. So here we are at some resistance, but we're above a bear trend line. We're not overbought at the moment, not even close at 62. We haven't been overbought for about 3-4 weeks almost. So, damn, I'm trying to come up with legitimate reasons to scream bloody murder. The market's about to head down a lot more in the next week or two. I can't. Next chart, NASDAQ 1 minute. It's up there. It's hanging in there. It's not dropping off. I don't see any new lows or any bearish reversals or any particular signal of any type for these indexes. Right now, we're a little higher than yesterday's highest high for the move lately on the YM. This is the Dow. The media, TV, news, etc., keeps mentioning historic highs, which is true, but that is misleading. It makes people think that the market's going to go to the moon. This is the time period when it actually is about to roll over. to some degree. Likely, but it hasn't really done it yet. So I've got to be neutral to friendly until I see these signals. I know what to look for to get close to them, and that's where we're at the moment. YM 1 minute chart, I haven't got a thing. I just don't have something to say that's screamingly bearish, and I know what to look for. Russell, major resistance, overbought. Here we have a situation where we could easily see the market start to work lower, but it's only the one index, the Russell. I really want the spider and the NASDAQ and the YM, of course. Next chart is the Russell detailed. Okay, that's it for indexes, except I do want to show you this October low real quick, the history of it, and we'll pop in a TradeStation chart. So here we are during the month of October 2024, real strong, straight up daily data spider chart. We're just not getting any significant reaction. On October 2nd, I believe it was, there was a very, very minor dip. I can't call that an October low. It didn't go down any significant amount. It's just simply a little blip in a strong uptrend. That would have been okay. And that's the low made on 5/9. So challenging that would be satisfactory. Getting below that would be a lot lower level, lot lower expectation. So, and I'm going to ignore that incoming call. Now, I know who it is. They'll call me back. Now, the next chart is going to be the bonds. And here we go. They've come down exactly like I wanted. On October 14th, it was oversold, finally started a little bounce, 2 days worth. That was it. Yesterday, it dropped down very sharply, almost a new low close, not quite, and a little bounce back up again on the bonds at the moment. But do we have a double bottom? There's about a 5, I think 8 tick somewhere in there, difference between today's low and the previous low early this week. Yeah, but it's such a small 4-day from low to low time frame. It's a little miniature, if you want to call it that. So it's not very big, not very powerful, and I'm not putting a lot of credence to it. I think there's still a good chance we could either build more trading range down here or start to work higher, but I can't rule out another low. But I did get what I wanted, and I wanted this a month ago, and so that's great. My expectations about getting below 120.20 happened. My expectations about getting into the October time period, and I started talking about this back here late September, have happened. So I'm satisfied that my prediction has come true past tense. Now what? I think it's in the process of bottoming out. I got to watch the way it's acting, and I'll come up with something that I think is going to be good information probably very soon. I expect before the month is over, the next 2 weeks, it could be any day. A very sharp rally today getting above yesterday's high would be it. A bullish engulfing. I'd get a green bar like that one over here on July 5th. I haven't got it yet. What about notes? We are still short one contract from ER3 position the day after the top of the market on September 17th. The green solid trade line is still coming all the way down to our current quote, which is higher on the day by 12 ticks. We do have a lower low today than yesterday. So if we get above yesterday's high, we were oversold within the allotted previous number of days, and that's kind of a secret. That's part of the formula. So we don't have it yet. We're just a little higher after a minor new low. Kind of the start of something, but not enough. So maybe it is bottoming out. I didn't get into the rectangle for the month of October, but I did get down into a low made on October 10th during the month, but not as low in price as I wanted, and that still could happen. Okay, crude. New low for the move down. Currently down on the day, But we also have an outside trading range or an engulfing. It's a bearish engulfing at the moment because it's lower than the previous close. That is usually bearish, and we are still short. So what am I complaining about? Nothing. I like what I see, but if it closes higher, then I'd have a bullish engulfing, and the likelihood my stop, which is right there, might get hit. But I'm not going to cry over spilt milk that I got out, didn't get it get out here. The trend is still down. We have lower lows almost every single day. In fact, it is every day since we got short. Well, that's not a lower low. That one, that one, that one, that one, and that one today. It's working great. Still bearish, but when I'm bearish and we've had a bear move, I get skeptical that we're not going to keep the bear position much longer. And that's kind of what I'm starting to think. Maybe support at 66.30 is going to get hit first. I'd love that before we get out. We'll see. Looking for lower levels, but slowly starting to get a little suspicious. Heating oil. Also, we were short from the rally on October 10th and the ER bearish sell signal on the top of the market October 8th. This is now an outside trading range with a lower quote implying a bearish engulfing, and that implies bearish. But I don't like seeing these things when the RSI is fairly low. Now, this isn't low enough, 25 or under, at 37 right now. So the outside down day probably is going to push it lower, and we're going to test 2.09 and lower, and probably 2.06. Next, natural gas. We are still short, and it has just made today, excuse me, an attempt to make it below the lowest low for the trend, which definitely has been 2.368. So 2368 on the 28th of, what have I got here? August. So 2.368. Today's low is 2.259. And that is very, very close to this low. I gave you the wrong number, 2.249. That's the low. Sorry. I gave you the high instead. So the low 2.249 before, today 2.259, super close. Low and last almost. Looks like it's going to break into new low ground. But where is the RSI? 14. This is a perfect condition for a broad 2-month double bottom. All we have to do is start to head back up, but there's no sign that that has started yet. But we're at the right spot, and it is very oversold. Keep your eye on natural gas. Next, gold overbought finally, and a new high for the whole trend with a big move up. Other than being overbought, usually creating very soon some minor downside correction. That's about the best I can say. I can't turn bearish. No major formation that's a top formation. Only getting overbought and new high ground, which is fairly common. It could stay overbought by making new highs again for a couple of more days before it comes down some. You got to go with the flow, and that is up. But I do see things a lot before they happen. That's why I'm talking to you, and that's why you're listening. Next, silver, new high almost for the whole trend up here. The last time it was in this territory, May 20th. So this is a new high since May 20th. But it's right there, right? Not a new high, almost a new high, not quite. At the top of resistance, again, a setup for a double top formation. But it's not overbought. But listen, it's 72.50, very close. So both of these, the gold, overbought, and silver at a possible double top, are setting themselves up for a correction. Maybe something more powerful than that, but let's just talk small downside correction for the moment coming soon. Now, platinum, not overbought, but it is in resistance and it is right up against a previous high where it topped out before. So there's a good chance that it could flip flop back down a little bit, but no overbought, just simply resistance. And that's about the best I can say. Okay, copper, inside day, doji, no higher high, no lower low, just a good rally. And we're coming so close to getting stopped out. That's our stop, 4.4189, give or take a couple ticks. So the high is super close, but it didn't get hit. I think it's going to. Don't mess around with a stop. You keep doing that, you're going to ruin your consistency. Not a good idea. Follow your rules that you make and change them once in a while, but not that often, not every damn trade. Wrong. That's simply trading off emotion and lack of discipline. So copper, holding in support area, had an outside down day yesterday, not oversold, so I really can't say that was one of those bass-backwards reversals. Normally this looks bearish, and we're up pretty good today and got above yesterday's high just a little bit. So neutral at the moment with a tinge bearish. Next, beans. Oversold, yellow. Possible, probable new low close for the move down here for a few weeks. And new lows almost, like yesterday was a new low. I think we're going to challenge a little closer to the lows that we made in August, and that price would be 955 before it turns back up. But it could turn up any old time now because of the significant oversold condition we were in yesterday at 1468. When I get down into the teens, I get very, very antsy about being short or going short. I would never do that. Or getting a buy signal. And I think we might have a buy signal in the next few days. This looks like it's trying to bottom out, even though it's a new low close. Next, oil, bean oil. Resistance is stopping the rally, having a lot of trouble getting back up into that area after it's been there with two sell signals. I think we're about to see new lows here as well, and probably move down toward 38.5 and even lower. Meal. Now lower on the day, low and last almost, after a good rally. But the trend lately in the last few weeks has been down, got oversold, did have a bounce, typical. I'm looking for a test of 308.70 and probably down into the support area below 300. Next, corn. Great sell signal, got short 2 days later, 2 ticks from the high of the day. We sold short, and that was on October 10th. Now, we've come down and gotten a buy signal yesterday. At the moment, we're only down. We're down 2.5 cents. We're long. I'm sorry. We're short still from the sell signal on December 24th. Good profit. Stop is right here for our current short. We did get stopped out of one of our shorts, and that was the one that we shorted on the signal day, October 8th. Remember, we always, when it's red or green, get into a long or short, red being short, green being long. That's the ER1. There's the scalp and there's the overnight version. If in the next few days you have a rally or break for a sell signal or rally like we saw just a few days ago, into approximately the middle of the signal day, we'll go short, and that's exactly what it did, almost exactly. Now, that short we got out of on the rally today. Took a great profit. But the other short from the ER3 2 days after the signal, we're still in it. The stop is a little higher. It'll still be a great profit, but let's see what happens here. I've got to turn relatively neutral because of the buy signal, and we got stopped out of one of our shorts. So there's a damn good chance it's starting to turn up. Let's see how it handles the resistance above the market and the low of yesterday. If it fails to hold, it could easily drop down to 385. But the buy signal is shifting my gears toward neutral to friendly. Next, wheat. Big outside trading range, down day at the moment. Bearish engulfing. Not even close to oversold at 34. I think this is going to drop sharply again down to 363 and very possibly in the area of 530 and lower to test the bottom of the market. Cattle. Nice rally today. Trend is obviously up and it's trying to make new highs for quite a long time frame. This would be a very bullish. Yeah, there goes your Costco filet steak. Prices again. Every Thanksgiving we get a big turkey and a big filet, and they're not cheap, but they're damn good. Highly recommend them if you want to spend the money. This looks like it's going to try to break resistance again. I got to make a low on a closing basis below yesterday's low to get a little bit more bearish, a little bit more quickly. It's right in the middle of things. So I'm going to wait for a move up or down to break out here. And Miss Piggy, hogs, doji inside day, just up a little bit. Trend is up. Trend is your friend. Resistance level looks like it's stalling it out some, but not necessarily stopping it. So I'm going to beg off on this also for the moment. And we're back to the E-mini. Just checking the short-term charts to see if we get any radical moves here in the last 15, 25 minutes. No. Minor new high a couple of minutes ago. No breakouts. Came down just a hair. Slipped off just a hair. And the Russell slipped off just a hair. You guys have a great day and profitable trading to you. Have a great weekend.